It was too soon to know the answer to that question. See, that's what I think that like these like all sides, like both sides, numerous sides contributing to the viewpoints or the sentiments or the thoughts that are filtering through to me as numerous sides contributing, right? It was too soon to know the answer to that question, but it was already clear that many of our readers felt a powerful connection to John and hoped that he would run for office one day. If he ever did, George would be a useful launching pad. The magazine was attracting tens of thousands of subscribers. They were already giving John money. They would very likely contribute to a campaign. George's pages gave John a forum in which to outline his beliefs, and people were intensely curious to know what was on his mind. The more I saw how ordinary people related to John, the way they waved him on the street as if he were an old friend, or the fascination with which they stared at him on the subway or photographed him when they thought he wasn't looking, the more I came to believe that if John ever did run for office, Americans would vote for him in droves. They would do so because they thought they knew him. They would do so because they thought they knew him but wanted to know him better, because he was a national common denominator, part of the imagery inside the cultural scrapbook of every American. And because his father and uncle had died before their time, John represented the chance to cap his family's saga of tragedy with a happy ending. We received a package in the mail one day that epitomized many people's feelings about John. It was wrapped in brown paper and tied with coarse string. In black marker, it was addressed to John Kennedy, George Magazine, New York. It looked like the kind of package you'd think maybe you shouldn't open. Inside, however, was a framed, faded black and white picture of John's father, accompanied by a handwritten note from an elderly African-American woman. She lived somewhere in the deep South, Louisiana or Alabama or Mississippi. I don't remember exactly where. The woman wrote that this picture of JFK had hung over her family's kitchen table for almost 40 years, ever since the 1960 presidential race. Her family had kept it there so they would never forget all that President Kennedy had done for them. Now she wanted John to have this picture. She thought it was time. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 4. I think I'm going to stop there.